Ukraine, a nation steeped in history and resilience, finds itself at a crossroads. This land, rich with cultural heritage and historical significance, has seen countless struggles and triumphs over the centuries. Since February 2022, the country has been embroiled in a brutal conflict with Russia, a conflict that has reshaped the lives of millions and altered the course of the nation's history. This ongoing war has tested the nation's spirit and pushed its resources to the brink, creating a landscape of both physical and emotional devastation. Led by President Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukrainians have demonstrated unwavering courage and determination in the face of Russian aggression. His leadership has become a symbol of hope and resilience for the people. The conflict has inflicted a heavy toll with countless lives lost and infrastructure decimated. Entire communities have been uprooted and the scars of war are visible everywhere. The economic repercussions of the war have been equally devastating. Businesses have shuttered and the once bustling streets now stand eerily silent. Ukraine's economy, already grappling with pre-existing challenges, has been plunged into turmoil. The war has exacerbated these issues, making recovery an uphill battle. Essential industries have been disrupted, supply chains shattered, and the financial burden of sustaining a war effort has placed immense strain on the nation's coffers. The cost of war is felt in every sector. The international community, witnessing the plight of the Ukrainian people, has rallied to provide support. Humanitarian aid and diplomatic efforts have been crucial in offering some relief. Billions of dollars in aid have poured in from countries across the globe, offering a lifeline to the embattled nation. This support has been vital in sustaining the Ukrainian resistance. However, the sheer scale of the crisis demands innovative solutions and a willingness to explore unconventional avenues. The path to recovery will require creativity and collaboration. As Ukraine grapples with the ongoing conflict and its far-reaching consequences, the nation finds itself at a pivotal juncture. The choices made now will determine the future trajectory of the country. The decisions made today will shape not only Ukraine's destiny, but also have implications for the wider world. The global community watches closely, understanding the broader stakes involved. In the face of adversity, Ukraine must chart a course that ensures its survival, safeguards its sovereignty, and paves the way for a brighter future. The resilience and unity of its people will be the cornerstone of this journey. Amidst the turmoil of war, a controversial proposal has emerged from within the Ukrainian parliament. Lawmaker Yaroslav Jallesnak, a member of President Zelensky's own party, has put forth a daring initiative, the legalization of the adult entertainment industry. The proposal seeks to harness the revenue-generating potential of this industry to bolster Ukraine's war chest and address the pressing financial challenges confronting the nation. Jallesnak's proposal has garnered support from a contingent of lawmakers, with at least 26 co-signers throwing their weight behind the initiative. This group, representing a cross-section of political affiliations, believes that legalizing and regulating the adult entertainment industry could provide a much-needed financial boost to a nation grappling with the economic fallout of war. Proponents of the proposal point to the potential for increased tax revenue as a key argument in its favor. By bringing the industry under the purview of legal frameworks, the government could tap into a lucrative stream of income. These funds, they argue, could be directed towards bolstering Ukraine's defense capabilities, providing essential services to its citizens, and mitigating the economic hardships caused by the conflict. The proposal has sparked intense debate within Ukrainian society, with proponents and opponents engaging in heated discussions about the potential benefits and drawbacks of such a move. At the heart of this debate lies a fundamental question: can a nation at war reconcile its moral compass with the pragmatic need to secure its survival? The allure of financial gain hangs heavy over the debate surrounding the legalization of the adult entertainment industry in Ukraine. This debate is not just about morality or social norms, it is deeply intertwined with the economic realities facing the nation. Proponents of the measure argue that it could provide a much-needed injection of funds into the country's depleted coffers, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the economic turmoil of war. They believe that in times of crisis, unconventional solutions can sometimes offer the most practical relief. One of the primary arguments put forth by supporters is the potential to formalize earnings from platforms like OnlyFans, which have gained significant traction in recent years. These platforms have become a lifeline for many, providing a steady stream of income in uncertain times. Ukrainians, like people in many other countries, have turned to such platforms as a source of income, and the industry has witnessed a surge in popularity. This shift towards digital content creation is not just a trend but a significant economic movement. Legalization, proponents argue, would allow the government to regulate and tax these earnings, bringing them into the formal economy and generating revenue for the state. This could help stabilize the economy and provide a more predictable revenue stream. Estimates suggest that Ukrainians have already earned over $123 million on platforms like OnlyFans, highlighting the significant financial activity taking place within this realm. This figure underscores the potential for substantial tax revenue. However, only a fraction of these earnings have been subject to taxation. This gap represents a missed opportunity for the government to harness a lucrative revenue source. By implementing a regulatory framework, the government could potentially capture a larger share of this revenue stream, directing it towards vital areas such as defense spending, infrastructure reconstruction, and social welfare programs. These funds could play a crucial role in rebuilding the nation. The projected increase in tax revenue from legalizing the adult entertainment industry is estimated to be in the millions, if not tens of millions of dollars. This influx of funds could provide a much-needed boost to the national budget. While this figure may seem modest in comparison to the billions of dollars in foreign aid Ukraine receives annually, every bit counts in times of war. The additional revenue could help reduce dependency on foreign aid and foster greater economic independence. Section 4. Voices of Dissent and Concern. The proposal to legalize the adult entertainment industry in Ukraine has not been met with universal acclaim. It has ignited a firestorm of controversy and debate, with many citizens voicing their strong objections. In fact, it has sparked fierce opposition from various segments of society who view the move as a step too far, a transgression of moral boundaries, and a potential threat to the country's social fabric. These concerns are deeply rooted in the cultural and moral values that many Ukrainians hold dear. Religious groups, particularly within the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, have emerged as vocal critics of the proposed legislation. Their opposition is grounded in a belief that such a move would undermine the spiritual and ethical foundations of the nation. They argue that the legalization of pornography would erode the moral values upon which Ukrainian society is built, leading to a decline in public decency and an increase in sexually explicit content. This, they fear, could have a corrosive effect on the moral fabric of the community, which they believe could have harmful consequences, particularly for young people. Parents and educators are particularly worried about the impact on the youth, fearing exposure to inappropriate material at a formative age. Beyond religious circles, concerns have also been raised about the potential for exploitation within the adult entertainment industry. Activists and human rights organizations have voiced their fears about the darker side of the industry. Critics argue that legalization could lead to an increase in human trafficking, with vulnerable individuals being coerced or forced into performing sex work against their will. This is a significant concern that cannot be overlooked. With vulnerable individuals being coerced or forced into performing sex work against their will, they stress the importance of protecting those who are most at risk of exploitation. They emphasize the need for robust safeguards and regulations to protect individuals from exploitation and abuse if the industry were to be legalized. Without these measures, they argue, the risks far outweigh any potential benefits. The perception of the measure as an act of desperation further fuels the opposition. Many see it as a hasty decision made under pressure rather than a well-considered policy. Critics argue that resorting to such drastic measures, particularly in the midst of a war, sends a message of weakness and desperation to the international community. They believe it undermines the country's standing on the global stage. They fear that it could damage Ukraine's reputation and undermine its efforts to secure continued support from its allies. The stakes are high and the opposition is determined to make their voices heard. Section 5. A drop in the bucket of need. While the prospect of generating additional revenue through the legalization of the adult entertainment industry might seem appealing on the surface, a closer examination reveals the limitations of this approach in addressing Ukraine's vast financial needs. The estimated tax revenue from legalizing the industry, while not insignificant, pales in comparison to the billions of dollars in foreign aid that Ukraine relies on annually. The United States alone has provided over $128 billion in assistance to Ukraine since the beginning of the conflict, with other Western allies contributing billions more. Furthermore, the adult entertainment industry is not a bottomless pit of money. While it is a multi-billion-dollar global industry, the actual revenue that Ukraine could realistically expect to generate from legalization is likely to be a fraction of that amount. Factors such as market size, competition, and the effectiveness of tax collection mechanisms would all play a role in determining the actual financial gains. Moreover, relying on the adult entertainment industry as a significant source of revenue could have unintended consequences. It could create a dependency on an industry that is often associated with social ills and could make Ukraine vulnerable to economic shocks if the industry were to experience a downturn.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.